What 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 up, guys? In this video, I want to break down something that I think is a little bit abstract, and a little bit complicated, but I'm gonna try to articulate it. So in this one, I want to talk about why do women, to an extent, are attracted to men that do not care about them. And this is just really my opinion, but I think I can offer some points that maybe you haven't heard. And I don't think that this is fully, one way or the other. I think it's more of a spectrum. I think that women struggle. They want someone that cares about them, but also that doesn't. And the first reason I think is, maybe a little bit more talked about, and that's that I think, people feel more like somebody else is more valuable if they are more in demand. People operate off supply and demand kind of naturally, so they feel like if that person doesn't care about them, then that person must be valuable. So I think that's the first reason. The second reason I think is because they get addicted to the woman gets addicted to the highs and lows, the anxiety of, for example, the man not texting back or not showing affection, and then all of a sudden he does. So she's kind of addicted to that affection or that anxiety, turning into affection, the highs and lows. And then the third one I want to mention is that one I don't really hear people talking about too often, and this is just some conclusion that I've came to, and I think that it's not obvious, but I think women like men who don't care about them that much, because historically and even now, a man who is focused on his own mission and actually puts her last actually means that she's going to be more safe. And that's counterintuitive, because I think a lot of men, we think, okay, we have to put her as first priority in our life to make her feel safe, and we have to make her feel like she's our number one for her to feel like number one. But I think it's the opposite, because if we prioritize our career and our own decisions and our own boundaries, to a large extent it makes her feel safe, because we're focused on ourselves first, which means that she will have everything provided for her. Historically, a man who was focused on building his house, hunting animals, and at last he puts a woman into his life, that man is gonna provide actually more for the woman, so she's actually feels more safe. So when you put her in last place, to an extent it makes her actually feel safe, opposed to guys that are putting her first place in their life. These guys are actually more likely, she'll probably actually deem that he's more easily manipulatable, and that he's not actually going to provide as much, because he's connecting to her as if he's going to get all his joy from her, and that's not a good trait, like historically, to connect all to her, because then there's going to be no resources coming in or protection, and he's probably going to give up his boundaries and not tell her what to do. So a man that can actually tell a woman what to do, and get angry at her and possibly offend her a lot, it might seem on the surface, okay, he doesn't care about her, he's yelling, he's getting mad, but in reality it actually makes the woman feel cared for, because she knows she's in the presence of a strong man. So it works opposite, and you even see this type of thing in I always mention that the anime Inuyasha, if you ever watched that. Like, Inuyasha is like this half demon, half human, and he meets this young girl, and there's this other guy at her school, that is always super nice. He's always bringing her chocolates, flowers, blah blah blah, but she's not really into him. But Inuyasha, you know, when they're walking together, he'll just be walking like 30 feet ahead of her and not even paying attention to her well-being, and she's just stuck back there trying to catch up to him on the trail or whatever. But she likes him, you know. She's like, there's something, you know, that she's attracted to about him, even though he's just leaving her in the dust on the trail, like he's walking like 30 feet ahead of her and not even paying attention to him or to her. And you might think, okay, well, that would make her feel unsafe, right? He's walking ahead, he's not paying attention to her well-being. You know, she could be getting attacked by an animal or a enemy on the trail. But I feel like it actually makes her feel safe because he's prioritizing his mission, which means that all that strength that he has on his mission, she will get to ride along with that. Even though she feels neglected, she's attracted to him. Even though he's rough, she's attracted to him, and she's not attracted to the guy at the school who seems to just be, you know, going after her, trying to be so nice just out of his own joy. And that's the thing that you got to realize, that I realize, is that, I mean, historically, like, a man does not need a woman to survive. You know, it's a woman that needs a man to survive. So a man goes after a woman purely for joy, you know, beauty, the sexual element, you know, getting to experience femininity. It's all really about joy for a man going after a woman. While a woman historically needed somebody to build a house over her head, needed somebody to protect the household if someone broke in, you know, needed somebody to go out and hunt. So it's totally different. As a man, if you're putting a woman as your main purpose in life, it actually makes you look weak because you're chasing the thing that needs you. You're chasing after beauty and joy, and that makes you almost like an addict, you know. If a woman chases a man who has resources and stuff like that, it makes her look like, okay, well, she's going after someone who can provide for her. But a man chasing a woman out of joy, because like I'm saying, we historically don't need a woman, it just makes you look weak. You're chasing the thing that needs you. It doesn't really make sense. So I feel like that's why women tend to gravitate towards men that don't really care about them that much, because that strength, when the man neglects them and doesn't need them, they actually feel that also, and then are attracted to it because it helps their survival, and at least in their way of thinking. However, I think it then gets tricky, because the caveat of this is that the woman does want to feel taken care of. So this is when emotional intelligence comes in and kind of balancing. If you're good with emotional intelligence when you're with her, then she can feel taken care of, and then you jump back to your mission, back on your business, your job, you know, your hobbies, or just valuing your own peace. Then when you are with her, then you take care of her, and you make sure that she does feel taken care of, but that she can also feel that you value your own life and your own goals and your own peace of mind while you're alone. So that's how you balance it. And then I think that when you want to do things such as really take care of a woman, this is just my opinion, but like, for example, if you're going to get a woman flowers or something like that, I think it's best to do it after a fight, after you argue with her, because then, you know, you showed your strength, and now you're going to balance out with some care and hospitality. So it's kind of a balance, I feel like, and the woman has to feel that you care about yourself, but also that you care about her, and it's like a balance, and you're willing to care about her, but you're not going to compromise your strength. Because I mean, if like I'm saying, you know, if you really think about it, like, a man historically is supposed to have muscles, right, to take care of the family, to build things. But if you put your woman as number one, all you're gonna do is sit on the couch and watch Netflix with her. So where are your muscles gonna go? Nowhere. Historically, that would mean you just sit under a tree with your woman and make out with her, and no house gets built. You know, that's what that would mean historically, if you make the woman your number one priority, and then you have nothing really to offer that much, so then you start simping, you start doing whatever she says, and now no house is built and you guys die under a tree. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's why. But don't try to be corny with it. Don't be like, you know, trying to be a jerk. It's just like, to a woman, so she thinks you don't care. It's just like, if you're busy and you don't want to text, you don't necessarily have to text back. You know, you can wait like a day or whatever, you know, and or you can tell a woman if she made you mad or something like that, so she knows that you prioritize your own self. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Drop a comment. I'm really curious about what you guys think about this, and I think if there's going to be a ton of nuance to it, but if we can put this together, then it's going to be really good. All right, peace out.